Peace and blessings is real. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, for allowing this word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is called Sign of the End Times, Biblical News, volume 234. In this edition, we're going to speak about the mask mandate in Wisconsin, which in essence is going to be the mask mandate in all 50 states. As you know, when it comes to the COVID-19, there was an initial shutdown where everybody was on house arrest, COVID-19 house arrest, mid-March all the way up into most states, end of May, beginning of June. And when the communities was opened back up, where businesses were able to get back to work and whatnot, and most of the people that work jobs were able to report back to work, one thing that was underestimated was the fact that the spread of COVID-19, due to the lack of enforcing the COVID mask, okay? The Bible speaks about pandemics. Actually, let me get that before I get into this word. In Ecclesiastes 1:9, it tells you there's nothing new under the sun. So the pandemic that we're currently dealing with, which is the COVID, we had a similar pandemic in the ancient times in Leviticus chapter 13, and it dealt with the pandemic of leprosy. And when you were deemed unclean, okay, you had to quarantine, and then you also had to cover up that disease. Now, when you translate that to the pandemic today of COVID-19, it's the same thing. You're considered unclean, and you have to self-quarantine for 14 days, and then you have to cover up the disease. How are people covering up the COVID-19 disease today? What you see on the screen, by way of a face mask and by way of washing your hands, man. And right now, because of the spread of COVID-19 is continuing to elevate, Wisconsin, where I live, is pushing for a mandate that everybody wear them. Milwaukee Common Council approved requiring masks in public spaces. And that was just earlier today. And if the mayor signs the legislation, this can go in effect this Thursday, July 16th, man. And I'm going to give you some key facts or some key stats, man, as we get ready to close out this word, man. This is going to be a quick word. And again, man, this is a clear sign we're in the end times, because I can't think of a time that I've lived on this so-called earth where we've dealt with something that this bad. I mean, this COVID-19, this is a bad pandemic, man. And the fact that masks are being mandated, letting you know, regardless of how effective or regardless of how serious or regardless of how non-serious you think this COVID-19 disease is, there's a reason, according to the state of Wisconsin and other states, there's a reason to feel as though this thing is going to get worse and kill more and more people. And I can never recall a time, living in a time where there was a disease out here. Once you get it, you could potentially die from it, man. So we're in dangerous times, man. And when it comes to the mask mandate here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or in Wisconsin, as a whole, man, um, starting as young as 3 years old, is required to wear a mask when they leave the home and go into buildings that's open to the public. And I think of a time, I'm 46, I can't think of a time where the bare minimum of an age of 3, an individual had to protect themselves going out in public, man. Now, there are some exemptions to the mask mandate. There are some exemptions to where certain individuals are not mandatory to wear the mask. And it would be those that have medical conditions or those that have mental health conditions. Any one of those particular individuals are exempt from wearing the COVID-19 mask. Also, people with chronic upper respiratory conditions, they are exempt from wearing the mask. Also, individuals that are translators and communicators with those that would be considered deaf, they are exempt from wearing this mask. Those that are getting medical and dental treatment, I would think oral treatment, are not required to wear a mask. I mean, if you're getting some dental work done, obviously, or you getting some type of oral surgery done, you would be exempt from wearing a mask. Obviously, eating and drinking. If you're eating and drinking, obviously, man, you're exempt at that particular moment in time of wearing a mask. And then dig this. Those that have religious beliefs also are exempt. If your religious beliefs says you are not to wear this COVID-19 mask, you are exempt according to the mandate exemptions, man. Now, if you are out in public, okay, you leave your home and you go to buildings open to the public, you could be fined anywhere from $50 to $500, man. So, here it hasn't went into effect yet, but the Common Council did approve the requiring mask in public places 15-0 in favor of this mask mandate. And let me tell you like this, man, this is the beginning. Whatever this COVID-19 is, whatever you think it is, whatever you think it ain't, one thing I do know is whatever this is not finna end no time soon. And I believe it's going to get worse, man, as time go. So my advice is, hey, man, every person has to be smart and do what they feel is best for them. There's a lot of people I see people in public all the time. A lot of them don't wear the mask. And a lot of them do wear the mask. So, I don't too much particularly care for the mask, but my job required me to wear it. And then my wife has compromising health, so I have to wear it even if I don't want to, just to make sure I don't, be exposed to it and take it home, man. And the reason why I'm kind of like, I really don't like wearing a mask is it's hard for me to breathe, especially the particular masks that I have. So everybody is not going to be open to honoring this mask mandate, but this is what we have to deal with to try to stop the spread of this COVID-19. And like I said, man, it's individuals that wear the mask and it's those that don't. And those that don't wear the mask, who am I to tell them something is wrong with them, or who am I to tell them they need to get on board? Everybody do what's best for them. I'm just saying this mask mandate that's being proposed is what they feel will stop the spreading of COVID-19. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters, man, was edified by this word. And I don't know what state you're in, but at least in Wisconsin, they are proposing the mask mandate, man. And if it goes into legislation, which could be by the end of the week, any and everybody, for the most part, when they leave the house and go into the public, they got to have a mask on, man. Just like you see everybody on the screen with a mask on, that's exactly what it's going to look like in the near future, man. Because this thing ain't going nowhere no time soon. And the way it's looking, it's going to be here for a couple years at least, man, before they can get a handle on what this really is. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters was edified by this word. And we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out, man. Shalom.